Welcome in, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, around the world. This is Coast to Coast. How's it going, guys? How was your weekend?
Go ahead, Jay. You go first.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty good. I had a pretty good weekend, man. I went to the Astros games. They lost, but ultimately, though, it was good. It was a fun weekend, man. I got out there and hung out with some of my friends and got out of the house for a little bit. So it was good times, man. Good time. And the weather was not too bad. Moderate heat instead of blistering heat. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, fair enough.
We had blistering heat. It was hot. It was hot. For anybody who does not follow me on my Instagram page or my Facebook page, I was with the Savannah Bananas this weekend, and I did a tryout for the Bananas Dad Bod competition and won.
Okay.
The Dad Bod competition and dance off, which I tell you, the one thing that I am probably best at in the world is not dancing. The fact that I had to dance to win this Dad Bod competition, thank God that there are guys that are worse than me. But it was an interesting time. It was a lot of fun to be a part of the Bananas, and I know that you guys, I've heard me say I've been working with them to try to be able to have something happen, and I will tell you that it is an amazing feeling to have 40,000 people audibly cheer for you specific when that happens. And I was able to, they were able to make that kind of happen for me. And it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
Hell yeah.
So you're soft and can't dance.
I don't know that I'd say I'm soft. Stone
well, you're not ripped. I mean, yeah, but dad bods are kind of soft.
Well, no, everybody else had a dad bod. I was actually probably the skinniest of them all. You know what I mean? Not for nothing. I don't know if you've seen me, but I've actually lost some weight. So it's like I've been, eating better and doing certain things better a little bit. But yeah, the dad bod.
Drinking light beer.
Actually, that's the thing. I have not been drinking any beer.
Oh, I mean that'll make you lose some weight.
That'll do it for you.
Vodka still. I'm not on the wagon by any stretch of the imagination. But
sure.
It's like I actually, truth of the matter is I have not been drinking a lot lately in general, especially when it's this hot. Yeah. So it's like I can't drink. Like if I had a 3-gallon tub of water ice, give me some lemon or cherry water ice, sure, and then bottles of vodka. And all of a sudden, we'd have a problem.
We would have a problem, but that sounds very delicious.
It is amazingly delicious. Just you need lemon water ice and vodka is mwah. Cherry water ice, mwah. Watermelon water ice, mwah. It doesn't matter. Any type of water ice with vodka, mwah.
Look, if you want to lose weight, don't drink, eat vegetables, and smoke cigarettes. I promise you'll drop about a good 20 pounds in about a month and a half.
I quit smoking. Now we're going on 14 years.
Wow. Might want to pick it back up if you want to get ripped, though.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
I don't know, folks. No, here is my scientific reasoning real quick. I know it's not sports radio, but this is my scientific reasoning behind that. Number one, vegetables have 0 calories, maybe a little carbs if you're eating broccoli, but 0 calories, free food. Number two, if you're not drinking beer, let's say you're just drinking water, you're not going to get the calories that direction. And let's be honest, cigarettes suppress appetite. Perfect plan to drop weight. But when you get to a certain weight,
so does Ozempic.
Yeah, but you said
okay, but who has that kind of money, Bo? You know how much Ozempic costs?
But you said to get
We're talking about cigarettes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right? And besides, you said to get ripped, not to drop weight. Like, if you're trying to get ripped, what you just suggested is the dumbest shit I've listened to this morning. I understand it's early, but I feel like it'll hold.
Wait, hold on. Wait. What are you trying to get at, Bo? I need a little bit more clearer definition. What are you saying?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't clear. That was idiotic.
Okay, fine.
And you know what? And since you said something, I'm going to start here. August 1st, we're going to start the Philly Sports Guy workout regiment. So you can get up with me at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to go outside, and we're going to do some burpees and some sit-ups and some push-ups, and I'm going to do it live on TikTok and Instagram, and you guys will be able to follow along with the Philly Sports Guy doing all that.
How many burpees can you do in like, let's say, a minute time span? What would be Pax's right now burpee limit?
In a minute?
Yeah, in a minute. How many can you do in a minute?
Doing full flat? Like, so I don't want to play the game. Burpee. Like, I wouldn't do the full, like you get down on the ground, you're actually stomach's on the ground doing the flat 10.
Okay. Because we used to do those in the Army. Every morning in the Army, that was one of our exercises we had to do was the burpees. And that's about where I was at. 10 burpees. I don't like
10
burpees.
For the first minute, and that's it. Yeah, after that, it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 6. So.
No, but that was one. I would tell you every morning I hated burpees. I hated burpees more than anything in this world. I'd rather pull out all my hair than do a damn burpee. But burpees take a lot out of you. That's a full-on body exercise to the limit.
So so burpees weren't a thing when I went through boot camp. And once you are out of boot camp and on a ship, you don't do cardio like everybody else does. Like the Marines did because they had nothing else to do. But if you wanted to work out while you were on the ship, you went and worked out. Which, because it was like a prison anyways, you have nothing else to do except do that. And you couldn't go use the gym in heavier seas than like 4 degree swells.
Sure.
Because, you can't be like, ooh, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work that way. So there are a lot of kettlebell stuff. You do a lot of like, literally just curls and stuff like that. That's mostly what it is you're doing.
I'll tell you the one thing, Bo. If you've never worked out on a ship that's going up and down, I'll tell you what, 145 pounds can seem like 300 in a heartbeat. That was insane.
I was not in the armed forces, but I have worked out on a ship that was in some rough seas, and it is entertaining. It is entertaining.
I'll tell you, if you could do a good hard workout underway in heavy seas, you're one hell of a guy.
It's funny because every workout becomes a hard workout when it's heavy seas because all of your like stabilizing muscles are working overtime to not murder yourself with the weight.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there you don't need weight. All you got to do is just have you could just use the bar. And that would be enough. You don't have to have the weights on there because you don't really want the weights on there because you don't want to go one side and all of a sudden the weights fall off that way or start to
that
extend.
Means you didn't put your clamp on, Pags. If you put the clamp on, they're not going to fall off. No. I know. Who puts clamps on? That's
it's still the when you push and the bar is doing this.
No, I know.
It's like,
Are you saying there's a slight rotator cuff possible tearage that can happen?
I think it's more of it gets a little bit out of range and you drop the weight on yourself problem.
Yeah, that would happen too. But I will tell you, Pags, though, you know how many PT tests I took in the Navy in about a 10-year span? I took one. I took one PT test. So PT in the Navy is not. But I'll tell you what, though, in the Army, you take one every 6 months. And that's where
that's because you're on the ground a lot more. So every 6 months, they do, my ship went and did a Gitmo. Which you don't want to do a Gitmo. Like Gitmos are not fun.
Yeah.
Like even in boot camp, when they said that you're doing a Gitmo, that's like they're saying, hey, we have come up with this regiment that's similar to being in Guantanamo Bay, and we're going to destroy you, which is kind of what happens a little bit. So when you're doing a Gitmo on a ship, like one of the things, and I love telling this story because it's so hysterical to me. So I was an electrician, which means I was in the pits, because I had an electric board watch, and you have to make sure that all of the motors and engines are running well, because if anything seizes or shorts out, next thing you know, you got to like reroute it, because that's all vital in wartime situations. So when you're in a Gitmo, you are in essence in wartime situation. And our goal was, they sent us out there and they said, okay, we are going to send out 6 SEAL team members. Your goal with the entire ship, Marines and Navy, on board the ship, do not let the SEALs take over the ship. 6 minutes.
Wow.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. There were 3 Navy SEALs. From the moment they got on board, we didn't know when they were coming on.
Yep.
But from the moment they got on board, 3 SEAL team members wound up captain at gunpoint and gunpoint to the guy on the helm.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Those guys are pretty insane.
And that made me feel great about the SEALs.
Right? Not so great about your ship, but the SEALs, amazing.
Yeah, think about it. These guys are trained in this type of stuff, and you have most of the guys on the ship, most of the guys on board of a ship, even though we were there in Bahrain, and when we were in Bahrain, really our ship was, I felt like it was just a PT boat for Marines. Every 4 days, 500 new Marines, or really it was 480 Marines, because that's how many cots there were, would come on board the ship, and they would do PT all over the ship. Like that's what it was. It was like, we're doing stuff, and then you see the Marines come running around the berthings and stuff like that. It was just like they don't have anything else to do. So that's what they do. They work on their submersible tanks and the hovercrafts, and 5 days is up. It's like a vacation for them almost. And then they go back out on the land again. And then another 500 would come on, or 480 would come on. So it was like a whole different scenario. And it would get frustrating because we weren't allowed to leave. We're just 500 yards off the coast of Bahrain and not allowed to go to shore. So, and because our ship was made to sink, like I said, the back end of our ship would sink. And then when you see the D-Day stuff, and you see those pontoon boats that come out and then their back end drops, very similar. Our ship carried those ships, those boats. That's what our ship was meant to do. They don't use those boats anymore. They use submersible tanks. They have tanks that completely go underwater. They fall off, and they'll fall 300 foot, 200 foot, and then they just crawl right onto the friggin' land. Like they'll just go right on there and stuff like that. No matter how far they fall. That's not 200 foot. It's really probably like 30 foot. But they just tank right over and just go right on the land. And the hovercrafts, they actually have, like, you could almost see the space between the water and the
air
and the hovercraft. But
That's
yeah,
wild.
It's very hot, and just. Yeah, that's why ice baths, that's where I learned. When you ice bath somebody, because somebody would fall asleep and they would put them into an ice bath, you could send the entire person into shock. Like, it's 120 degrees, and then you shock them with an ice bath. There's been a couple of times where somebody had to get, the shot. Now, luckily, we didn't have that on our ship, but we had the shots. You know what I mean? But I watched somebody go into almost like a catatonic state because of just the body shock from going from 120 degrees heat, because your body has defenses in that temperature.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Once those defenses are activated, going into extreme cold does not work. It's like that does not work. And it overloads and then fails. That's what puts your body into shock. Yeah, good times in the service.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went on a we heavy lifted all the minesweepers out of Corpus Christi to Bahrain, and I got to ride on the Russian ship, and we heavy lifted them across there. And the first thing they told me was, rats are friendly. Don't worry about it. They're friendly. And then there's some big rats, big rats. And but yeah, we pull up into the port and we offload those minesweepers. And that's what I was on a minesweeper for 2 years out there, cleaning up all the mines from the old Gulf War. That was pretty much our mission. But Bahrain is awesome, and you get tailor-made suits for like $90. Yeah, it's
so rats. You know why they say rats are friendly? They keep away the cockroaches.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. Hey,
you
listen,
have rats. You don't have cockroaches. As funny as that sounds, you would think that they would work hand in hand with each other, kind of. No, rats eat cockroaches. Yeah. So yeah, you either have one or the other. So that's why they say rats are friendly, because it keeps the cockroaches out of the food.
I sure as hell never messed with them. They'd be sleeping at night. They'd be all on the floor crawling around. All right, well, I'm glad I'm about 7 feet up in the air because I ain't messing with those damn rats.
I mean, rats can climb.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, I was gonna say,
they never climb my rack, though.
Yeah, don't keep bacon in the rack.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they're not coming up there.
Yeah.
I didn't keep any food down there. I know that food attracts animals and vermin. No, I'm good. But that Russian food was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, borscht and all that other crap that they made. It wasn't too bad. It's pretty good food. I'm scared of rats. Yeah, I don't like rats either, especially when they're the size of damn cats almost.
I mean, if there's enough roaches that they're eating, they're not going to bother you anyway.
Yeah, and I tell you, and I'll be honest with you, you get roaches. When you see one, you've got hundreds, if not thousands, into the millions. And I tell you, roaches or rabbits, they do two things. They like to eat and they like to procreate.
Yep.
Yeah.
With speed, too, because they don't live that long. They are right on it.
So,
oh, man.
Great way to talk about sports.
Yes.
So we do have a Deion Sanders update happening today. So obviously everybody's familiar with the health concerns he's had over the last couple of years, right? Blood clots, stuff like that. Had a couple toes amputated while he was still with Jackson State. He has a press conference that's going to come out right after this show wraps up. And it's supposed to be an update about his health. The fact that he's having one means that you have to assume that it's not a great outcome, because if everything was great, you wouldn't have a press conference, right?
So he's got it. It's not just the toes. He actually has part of his leg amputated. I'd be willing to bet that they tried to do this to save the leg. It's probably likely he's going to lose that leg now.
Well,
and I'm hoping that's what it is. I mean, I don't want to wish anything bad on him, and stuff like that, but it could be much, much worse.
No, for sure. And there was video of him, filling out a will. So, I mean, the speculation at this point is him stepping down from Colorado, right? And, but obviously we don't know anything, but the fact that they have this press conference going on makes you think that everything is not awesome. And again, that'll be right after this show. Too bad Chris isn't still watching. He would have loved this story.
I think Chris is still watching. He's just quiet.
I don't know. He blocked me on literally everything.
So hold on. So right now, Deion is just missing some toes. They haven't done anything.
No. They took off some toes first. Then they amputated below the knee. So he actually walks with a prosthetic right now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
You could tell. If you watch him walk, you could notice. Because it's at least when I saw it, it wasn't a full looking calf. It was like the bar, so you could tell at the bottom it was like airy. You know what I mean? That it just wasn't filled out the way you think it would be.
Huh. Okay. Well, hopefully,
I don't know. Everything I'm seeing just says toes. I don't see anything that says his leg.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that he had a below the knee, and I
Yeah,
thought that
I
that
don't
was like
see
2-3
anything.
years ago.
No, that was just his 2 toes. I don't see anything that says more than those toes being amputated.
Got you. All right.
But you're saying now though that it could be possibly at this conference they're going to talk about him having to probably remove part of the leg.
I don't want to speculate. It's not my.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the idea of this press conference. It's again airs as soon as this show wraps up this
Okay.
morning. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they're having one generally means it's not
No
great,
bueno. There's
right?
something no bueno.
Yeah, because otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it at all. They wouldn't be having a press conference. You know, that would have been like if it was a thing. You know, if everything was fine, it would have just his media team would have been like, no, everything's fine. But the fact that nobody's talking about anything and there's a full-on press conference, now it's like, okay, well, how bad is the news, right? Not necessarily is the news bad. It's just how bad is it going to be?
Right. Yeah, because everybody could speculate what the news could be, and, you know. But yeah, hopefully it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, the world is a much more colorful place with him in it.
Oh, no question. No question.
You know, it's just like you know, and I like color. It helps us do our show better.
Oh, no question. Especially when you think about, you know, the time of year that we just got out of, where there's not a lot of sports going on. And, you know, so when you end up with Dion doing Dion things, you know, it gives you content for a daily show that, you know, sometimes, let's be honest, it's hard to scrape some content together.
Hey, man, we started this show off talking about roaches.
I mean, right?
And rats, you know what I mean? So it's, but yeah, so yeah, let's hope for the best with him and such like that. You know, it was interesting. I was talking to mascot Troy a little bit ago, and he was talking about how he was at an event and got to see Bradshaw, and that he said he looked good. And I said, you know, it's like with everything that he had going on with Bradshaw. I mean, Bradshaw was, you know, I mean, he had stage 4. Yeah. And was able to recover. And I'm like, you know, I mean, that just tells me that Costa Rica or Turkey is doing that stuff right. There is something going on that allows you to, you know, get yourself right. Do it. If you have the means, go do it. Live longer. Live longer.
The thing about that is everywhere else doesn't have all the red tape that we do.
Right.
So when it comes to some of these things, other countries are so much more free for treatment. Like they'll try so many more things. They'll do so many more things. I mean, even the things that we do here as well, it's cheaper and generally better service.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, down in Mexico, how I actually even got introduced into the Puerto Vallarta area was Rob. His mom was going down for knee surgery because her knee surgery there, and it was all U.S. doctors. Her knee surgery there, I think it was like 30 grand, whereas here in the States it would be like 130, and then that also included a driver, all of her post-op, a place to live for the entire month, all of her food, all of that was included in that 30K. And up here, the like 130, 150 is just the procedure, none of the outpatient stuff. So I mean,
that was for knee replacement?
Yeah, full-on replacement. So she ended up doing both of them down there ultimately. But so basically for her to do both of them was less than half the price of one in the States with better coverage.
Yeah, same thing. So I'm learning about certain spots like this. Like, first off, like I heard initially, and I don't have to worry about this because my hair grows like weeds. But like hair replacement, if you want to go to hair replacement anywhere in the world, you go to Turkey. That's where you go. Turkey, and it's cheap, like $700 gets you a full head of hair type stuff. Like
Oh
it's
damn, let's go.
well,
Yeah,
you
Bo.
definitely.
Maybe we can get a 2-for-1, Bo.
But
I know this is gonna go away eventually, so let's go down there and get ahead of the curve, Bo. Let's 2-for-1.
Well,
Let's
I
do
mean,
this.
my hair grows exactly like yours does. I just, it's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let's go get on there and get a 2-for-1. Maybe they'll give half a head of hair for Bo.
or maybe just buy 1-for-1 and spend the $700 rather than thinking that you're going to buy one get one.
right. I mean, it's $700.
You never know. It can happen.
I don't want discount. I don't want discount hair when it's already $700.
There you go. It's free here in Italy. I'm trying to work out my dual citizenship. So if I ever run into the hair issue, then I'll make sure to go out there and work that out. But I'm not there yet. I don't have to worry about my hair. But like in Turkey and stuff like that, they have done with the regulations on same thing as Costa Rica with stem cells and things like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's amazing how the stem cell research has grown everywhere else except the US. And the reason why they don't do it here is because it would actually force the markets of all medicine to change. It would force it to have to change.
Yeah, there's too much money in pain management than actually fixing problems. Like, I mean, that's a US issue just across the board. They don't actually want to fix anything. They just want to mitigate, because that keeps you on the hook forever, because they make money on it.
Of course. So, and that's, but everywhere else goes to fix these problems. So like I said, you go looking on TikTok or even Instagram now, and you'll see that there are Americans that are going over there and they're saying, hey, listen, this is how much the procedure would cost. This entire procedure would cost this much money in the US without insurance, because insurance won't pay for any of this. This is how much it costs in Turkey.
Well, and I mean, let's be honest. I would like to go see Turkey anyway. So,
it's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Yeah, that's right.
Bo, the $30,000 for that knee replacement, was that covered under her insurance, or was that just out of pocket that she had to pay?
All out of pocket. No insurance
actually,
in Mexico.
So there was some insurance coverage. Yeah, so it wasn't all out of pocket. But
and so they paid, the insurance company paid for them to go to Mexico. Some
of it. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the percentage was. But
well, any percentage is better than nothing.
That wasn't all out of pocket. No.
30 grand. Even that 30 grand. I mean, unless you just got it like that, I mean, that's a lot of damn cabbage.
30 grand versus $150 plus. Like,
yeah.
I feel like that's easy math, man.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's not easy math. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, even to go to Mexico, if you had 30 grand, is still a lot. I mean, for a lot of people. I get the 150 to 30 comparison.
Anybody, but if it makes you immobile, like, you got to figure it
Oh,
out.
I'm not there with you, man. Listen, I already had one knee replacement. I got another one probably that's coming up here. I would imagine another year or two. But yeah.
But
thank God for the VA, I'll tell you.
Exactly, because you don't pay anything for it.
No.
But so it's like, I'll never forget when I was talking to the guy, and this was probably going on 10 years ago, maybe even longer, when he went and got the stem cell in Costa Rica. And he said he went down there and it was $7 grand. You had to have a letter from your own doctor. He set you up down there. He was down there, and then his shoulder felt so much better. He's like, I want the other shoulder and my 2 knees done. Doctor's like, well, you got to go back to the US. He's like, I'm here now. Here's cash. And the doctor's like, oh, yeah, well, you just wait over there.
Right. No, like I know a couple of people that have gone to go get the stem cell, rejuvenation. And I mean, they're way better. I think they ended up paying like 10 grand a joint, basically.
Yeah. And like I said, it's worth it. If you have some of these things, like, I mean, I hate to say that there's cures for cancer. There's cures for all the different things that you want to do. Like, hey, listen, you could go get those alkaline where they actually alkaline your blood.
Yep.
And that will kill like just about like 90% of most cancers. So that your blood,
Yeah, they
just all
live
you
on
do
the
is
acid.
it removes the acid, it makes the blood alkaline, it goes through your whole system. So it's like a 6-hour procedure where you're tied in, your blood goes through just another, what would be like an extension organ
Yeah, it's a
to alkaline your
transfusion
blood.
machine. Yeah.
So there's so many different things that you could do if you have the money.
Yeah.
That's the key. I
So
mean,
it's the key.
there's a reason all of these high-end actors look like they haven't aged in 40 years. It's because they have all the money.
Right. So if you want to sponsor us for $250,000 for this show,
Yeah, that's
we
right.
will look much younger at the end of that.
And if
I
you don't
will.
have that, you can place some bets to try and get there by using the QR code on the screen. Football is back this weekend. In fact, we'll talk about that in a minute. 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee in case you suck at it. And also, if you're here in the Pacific Northwest, use this QR code here for True Fusion Gym, Pilates, boot camp, yoga, bar, and more. Find your edge, True Fusion Gym. All right.
Hey, no offense to Bet US, but I don't think they actually sponsor us.
So I get a percentage if somebody bets.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Didn't know that was the case.
Yep.
So don't forget to put in Bo in the.
It actually takes you directly to it. So if you use that QR code, links
As
you
long
right
as
in.
you're making something out of it, I just, like I said, I haven't seen my check yet.
I haven't seen mine either.
Well, see, the thing that's
I
funny
haven't seen mine either. What the hell?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, maybe you should get a QR code or something.
And there you have it.
The thing that's funny about it is the way you get paid by it is when they lose a bet, right? And because obviously, if they're not making money, they're not going to give you money. But when it comes to, when I actually really push that thing is when I'm doing the pick'em, right? That we're going to get back underway for. The problem is over the last 3 years,
You're right.
I came in first, I came in third, and it's like, oh, you know what I don't get is paid because my picks have been pretty accurate.
Makes you want to bet is what you should be doing if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, if I could here without going to one of the casinos, I would.
Hey,
but
you know what though? It's funny. The last 2 years in a row, I have partnered with somebody else, like this girl who asks me every week which team would I take for the suicide pool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I've won both years. Well,
nice.
her and I both. There's been like a week where I'm like, I don't know, I don't trust my picks, and she'll pick one and she's won. But like I'm usually the one picking the team. Like, no, take this team because I don't trust that. You know what I mean? It's like you got to stick by your rules. You have to have very specific rules if you're going by the suicide pool. And if you go against those rules, you lose, which is the reason why I've only done it for 2 years, and 2 years I've won.
Yep.
So, and I get a drink out of it. She buys me a drink because she wins the money.
That's the least you can do is buy you. She should buy you dinner too. Dinner and a drink.
A drink is fine.
Stop trying to cause problems, Jay.
I know, my bad. I'm sorry. My stomach speaks for me sometimes.
Yeah, I'll eat my own food. I can do that. So yeah, but on
the football, we do have Hall of Fame game here on the last day of the month. Trade deadline for baseball and Hall of Fame game in the NFL. So should be we finally have football, right? It's not.
I haven't even looked at the Hall of Fame game. Who's playing in the Hall of Fame? Is it usually the Giants, I think, would imagine, right?
It's the Lions and the Chargers. Chargers are going to be the away team. Again, nobody plays in it, so it doesn't really matter, right? Like it's just an extra preseason game. But about this time of year, you're pretty ready for football. So even a bad game, you're going to tune in for. But look at the NFL trying to make it hard to tune into this game. Looks like it's going to be streamed on Peacock, NFL Plus, Fubo, and let's see, what was the other one? Oh, YouTube TV. So they made it a streaming TV situation. It sounds like it's going to be available in some markets on the basic NBC channel, but it sounds like in some places streaming will be the only thing. And
the only stream I'm going to see is when I'm in the bathroom.
I mean, it's
Okay.
I wonder if this is their way of forcing people, because they know people are craving football at this point, and they're like, you know what? I'll just break down and finally get Peacock because I know there's more games on it or whatever.
Are they really craving this game, though?
They're not.
Like I said,
but I've been watching people complaining about not having football for the last month. So clearly people are kind of over the fact that sports aren't happening, right? I mean, we're at the point in that baseball season that nobody cares about, and basketball's not going. The WNBA is, but, you know, again, their viewership isn't amazing. All of the spring football is done. I mean, there's just not a lot going on. So I would bet that there are some people that sign up for it just because they want to see something.
You know, it was interesting, since we're talking football, I caught a glimpse of Jerry Jones at training camp, and he addressed the crowd talking about, you know, generalized bullshit, really. But the crowd was screaming at him, sign Micah, sign Micah,
Yeah,
sign
I mean,
Micah.
of course.
You know, and he, you know, you know that they're hearing it now. I don't know what they're gonna do. They just signed Ferguson, their tight end.
Wow. They've been
boy,
hearing it for an entire year.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But I thought it was interesting because they just signed Ferguson to like a $52 million contract, 4 year. I think it was 4 year, 52, something like that. And then, you know, I think he kind of acknowledged, yeah, we hear you talking about Micah, but you know, yeah, I don't know. They kind of, you can see him kind of put on the spot. Jerry was put on the spot, but he didn't really want to address it, so he kept trying to deflect and go around other things. And I'm like, yeah, okay, guy. That tells me everything I need to know, that you're going to wait another year to try to sign Micah, which is absolutely absurd.
there isn't another year for him to wait.
Well, I'm saying he's in his contract year now, so I don't know if they're going to. I hope they get something done. They really do need to get something done. But
Well, I think that they are going to franchise him.
you think they're going to put the franchise tag on him?
Yeah, I think so. They're
Oh,
not
then-
going to let him go to free agency.
Right.
I thought about this a little bit more, and I'm like, yeah, it's like we could talk about that all they want. Truth of the matter is that he's probably going to get franchised, and then he will wind up being the highest paid player after two other people sign. I'd be willing to bet that they're going to franchise him, and then Carter is going to sign, and then he'll beat Carter.
So it's actually a dumb move to really to put a franchise, because all you're doing is basically saying you're going to pay him even more money than if you'd just signed him right now. So you're going to spend it's going to be even more expensive.
He could have signed him. He could have signed him last year at what it's going to be. It could be close to $10 to $15 million cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry just does dumb stuff when it comes to contract time.
And I guess what I mean by is, you know, Jerry's he is a smart businessman, and I don't know if his old age is seeping in. Maybe that's what's causing him to make some bad decisions, because it is financially, it's a bad decision, right?
Well, you know what? I look at this a couple of different ways. He's been able to play this game for a while now. And in the 90s, you could hold out, and then sign sometimes for a little bit less. The problem is that that was under the experience that Dallas really was America's team, and
Yes.
that Dallas People wanted to go to Dallas to play for Dallas because Dallas was winning a lot of games. That has now gone away. Yeah, I would say that America's team right now, it could be the Eagles, yeah, it could be the Chiefs. You could kind of say that. I mean, it's like teams that players want to go play for. You know,
Mhm.
interestingly enough, like I would almost put, not that these guys are America's team, but like Tampa, players want to go to Tampa now.
Sure.
Players want to go to San Francisco a little bit. You could almost say the Rams, but I don't believe that, because they don't want to go to the Chargers. And that's, that kind of takes away from some of the Rams stuff. But all of that is all predicated on the fact that he was able to do certain level of things all the way up to about 2010, 2012. Since then, there's been a steady decline, even though they make the playoffs and what have you. That they've won like 2 playoff games since, that time, maybe, or maybe just one. But I mean, they haven't had the continued success that these other teams have had. And that's the line in the sand. And I feel like that he's still thinking in that 90s, 2000 era. And that's why it keeps getting confusing for him, because the world has changed since then.
I
And he
understand.
has not
Really?
evolved.
But and that's what really makes me wonder. You got to imagine, okay, Stephen Jones, is he not in his ear saying, Dad, maybe we should sign him now? We'll save a lot of money if we get him now versus later. Or even the financial department that works in the Cowboys, or is somebody there not speaking up and saying, hey, if we sign him now, we'll save an ass load of money and this, that. Like somebody's going to be in Jerry's ear, and Jerry is just ignoring it.
No, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that they're all on the same page. I think that when you're in an organization like this, like right or wrong, you have to be on the same page. You could have somebody who is the out of the box thinker, and they've got a different idea on things, and they promote and suggest different ideas. And that kind of steadies you a little bit on your plan. But ultimately, everybody in that organization's got to be on the same page. If Stephen Jones was saying, listen, we need to do things differently. 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 He wouldn't be there.
That's my point. So maybe in that finance department, there are people that believe that, hey, what they're doing is wrong. We need to do it this way, but they don't want to speak up because they'd be afraid of losing their jobs.
I can't answer that. I don't know.
I mean, but it certainly sounds that way, because you can't tell me the entire finance department all thinks that that's a good idea. Or there's a lot of real dumb people there.
No, but you listen, the Cowboys, no matter what I say about, like, on the outside,
Yeah,
the Cowboys have made it to the playoffs. They haven't gotten over those humps, but they have won divisions. They have made it to the playoffs. And we could look at the other 2 teams in our division, between the Eagles, who have won 11, and the Cowboys that have won 7, and the Giants that have won 3, and Washington's won 1. You know what I mean? So think about that you guys have doubled just about, and we have just about tripled the combination of titles from the other 2 teams in the division.
Yeah.
So you can't say that his way isn't working. It's not producing the championships it produced back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But it is working.
No, and that's why I always give them credit about, when they're in the draft room, because they draft really well. They get talent.
Oh, I'm not talking about that, but see, you guys are actually talking about the production of the team. I'm talking about the financial side of the team. They can't be that.
But that's why they're not changing. That's actually his point, is they're not changing stuff because it's working. Like, you guys win a ton of games.
It may not have produced a championship, but it's still, like I said, last year, and I think this year is the implosion. I think that you guys are about to go through. You guys are about to go through a very big dip. Like this is the part of the roller coaster where you had the big dip and now you're spiraling until something, because then you get to that one back hill again where somebody's got to pull you back up the hill again. You guys are in the spiral portion at the moment. And I think that you guys are going to spiral down for a couple of years. You guys have done too many things wrong. If you
Yeah.
pay Micah Parsons the number that they're projecting, that 50% of your salary for the entire team is going to go to 3 players. And they were saying that the closest match to that is the Bengals, who have their top 3 getting 38%, and they're having a hard time finding money for the rest of the players. And that ultimately that it's going to be the sincere demise of the Cowboys, because 3 players are going to make all the money and the rest of the team is going to make less than half than those 3 players combined.
Yeah,
And
so we're watching it right now with the Bengals.
right. And that the Bengals only have, like I said, a little over a third, and they're having hard times figuring out money. Where the Eagles are always setting the market. Jerry is resetting the market. But it's worked for him up to this point. So I don't see that change. And like I said, I don't see the change coming with Steven either. I think that's as much as you think it might be different. I don't think it's
No,
going to be different.
I have said often that when Jerry calls it a day and Steven takes over, that I felt like it was just going to be another Jerry 2.0. That we would still be doing the same practices. That I don't think that it would be any different situation until we got a different ownership group that had a different way of thinking all the way around. That's when the Cowboys would change, or it would change for the Cowboys. Hopefully for the better and not for the worse.
Right. So I think that you guys are at a point now that when Jerry dies and Steven plays this game for about 4 or 5 years, I think that the Cowboys are going to go up for sale. And I think that you guys are going. So I say that you guys are in your 8 to 10 year Cleveland Browns era.
I don't think they're going to be that bad, but
I call it that. I think that I don't know that they're going to go 0-17. But I think that you guys you're going to have seasons where it's 3 and 4 wins.
Well, before Jerry even got
especially when Jerry's dead.
Well, that'll be the really interesting part, is when Jerry does pass, where does it go from there?
Right.
Yeah, think about it. Jerry Jones inherited a 1-15 team when he took over as owner. They were up 1-15-ish. And then that's when they got Jimmy Johnson to trade. And then, of course, they elevated from there.
Johnson went 1-15, by the way. Jimmy Johnson was there and went 1-15.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they got rid of Tom Landry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like, I remember them doing that. And I hated Tom Landry, but I thought they did him dirty.
Oh, they definitely did him dirty. No. For all of what he did for Dallas, and then for him to go out that way was ridiculous. And the fact, I don't even know if Tom Landry is even in the Hall of Fame for the Cowboys. I got to go back and look at their Hall of Fame, but
I'm sure he is.
But I mean, but it is dirty the way that he was. They should have did a better job taking care of him for all that he meant to Dallas, honestly.
Correct. And they didn't. And I mean, it's like he wore the hat, he looked the part, he was the coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, he was that dude.
He was that guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the only other person I could think of that kind of epitomized a little bit of Texas like that was Bum Phillips. Bum Phillips, when he was the Houston Oilers coach.
Yeah, I remember that.
He epitomized Texas. He epitomized Houston. He looked the part. And I feel like that was part of the culture in Dallas. You had to look the part. That's why you notice when they show Invincible and they show the Eagles playing Dallas in that game 1, and they get into, it wasn't victory formation, but they show how the Cowboys all went down into the 3-point stands together. That was epitomizing Dallas Cowboy football, that we do everything succinct and we do it perfect, or else we do it again. You know what I mean? And that was how Tom Landry coached. So there was so much. I can't believe I'm talking this good about Dallas. but there's something to be said about that. You know what I mean? Like there was a reason why the Eagles weren't winning those games, because they didn't have that type of succinctness. They weren't able to build the culture until Dick Vermeil got there saying, hey, we are not going to accept losing anymore. You know, and that's what it takes. Like, listen, we stink. We're not going to stink anymore. And we're going to change the way things happen. And that takes time. The Dallas Cowboys culture got away from that. And it got away from that after Jimmy Johnson got fired, because it was still there during Jimmy Johnson, stayed there for about 4 years after Jimmy Johnson. Maybe 3, because you guys lost. You let him go. You bring in Barry. He wins one. Barry lost the first one, right? He lost in the NFC.
He won the first one.
He won the first one. He didn't.
After that, he didn't win. No, he won. He carried on after Jimmy, but
so Jimmy lost the NFC Championship game to the Catch.
Yeah,
and then because that was to the 49ers, right? He lost to the 49ers, and then got let go. And then they brought in Barry.
And then they continuously got worse after that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Barry was there for 2-3 years, right?
3, I think.
And then, I mean, it was just so bad after that. And then you get, was it Wayne Kiffin? Is that who it was? The guy with the short, little stubby, fat guy who had curly gray hair?
No, you're thinking of Dave Campo.
That's him. Yeah, that was like the Marion Campbell years of the Eagles. So
1996, that's when Barry Switzer won the Super Bowl in 96, which would have been right after Jimmy.
Right, of course. I remember that.
Yeah.
But that was it. And after
that was the only one he ever got.
He didn't even make it to an NFC Championship game after that.
No, he did not. You're right. But, there's one person you're leaving out. You know who I really thought resonated well with Tom Landry in terms of Texas football was Paul Bear Bryant and the Junction Boys. That dude was every bit of Tom Landry. They both had that same rigid, disciplined style of football.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Whole different scenario back then.
Like, no, I'm just saying, like they were the same mold, though, type of quarter.
Agreed.
Sure. Yeah.
Agreed. And that's kind of part of it. Like I said, this is all part of the, hey, I'm happy that Dallas got away from this. Because the truth of the matter is that the Eagles have now taken part in this. It's like, when you hear these players, like even CJ went backpedaled. He's like, hey, I'm talking bad about, he's like, you know what? They show up on time to meetings. They're not late. They do what they're supposed to do at camp. They have fun, but they do what they're supposed to do, and they get it done the way they're supposed to get it done. And when you wake up in the morning and you make your bed every morning, you know what? Your bed's made when you get home.
Right.
When you go to bed. You know what I mean? And it's those small details matter in football tremendously. And those small details Dallas has gotten away from, and a lot of these teams don't have.
I feel like this has to be a sarcastic answer.
And I tell you,
leave Joe alone. I take cup for Joe. You leave Joe alone. That's my man.
Well, Joe, I tell you, it may be after your lifetime that you see Dallas.
Maybe after my lifetime too. Shit. I really felt like the best coach we've had since Jimmy Johnson left was Wade Phillips. Bar none. Wade Phillips is probably the best coach we've had. Not the best coach ever, but in Cowboys history after Jimmy Johnson was Wade Phillips. And the reason why I felt like that was he was the only one that really had discipline on that team. We didn't have the penalties like we had. We didn't have all the craziness, but we didn't go all the way, obviously.
No, I disagree with you there.
But I felt like he was more disciplined.
Actually didn't win championships, but you did have winning seasons and not as many penalties because you were playing his type of ball.
Yeah, that's all,
Was,
yeah, absolutely.
was what's his face from the Giants? Parcells. Parcells came in.
Yeah, Lombardi was also very strict. Yep, that's true.
I just feel like that was
so,
like,
and so was
Yeah.
Belichick.
Oh, no
I mean,
question. No question.
that's the
Yeah.
exact reason. Like, hey, listen, when you demand excellence and you don't accept anything less, you get it.
Yep. And when there is a great, it was, I believe it was addressing a school,
Yeah, it was
naval
a college.
officer. Yes. And great talk. Definitely check that out. It's floating around on YouTube. It's all over the place. But that's his point: is wake up every morning, make your bed.
It's the first task done of the day, and
Yep.
now you completed it 100%. And now every other task after that, it was a matter. It's just a matter of a mindset. Complete the task that you set out to complete.
Well,
Do
and then-
not allow for procrastination and things like that to set in. And
then on top of that, he went on basically to allude to, even if the rest of the day just doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, you come home to a bed that's made.
Correct. That
So-
even in the worst of days, your bed's made already.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And this here, yeah. So there's always a lot of fights in camps. And the biggest part of that is, of a 53-man roster, 45 of the people on that roster are already mostly set, right?
Right.
So you have the other, basically 92 people that are in camp. 45 of the 53 are ready to go, which means the rest of those guys are all vying for 8 spots. So tempers are high. I mean, you see fights in camps all the time. I wouldn't, you don't really have to look too far into the fights, but you'll see them in every camp.
So yes, so 100%. There's going to be lots of fights, but I like it when we hear about the Cowboy. What were they doing with the sticks?
They were riding them like ponies. Like I was just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm waiting for somebody to take that. The Pink Pony Club. Now I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club. That's what I'm hearing. I didn't hear any noise, and I'm like, is this to the Pink Pony Club? Because that's what this looks like to me.
Yeah, but I saw that. I thought they were playing Quidditch out there.
That's what I thought. That's
Right.
exactly what I thought. And I'm like,
It's like, God damn.
like
We just
Quidditch
talked about
thing.
this on Coast to Coast too.
the Pink Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing. Gino, are you any relation to Bum or Wade? Hey,
Yep.
they're in Oxnard. They can't be far away from the, from that beach.
Okay, Sailor Troy. Now, when you start talking about it, I take it seriously because now you're a Pittsburgh guy.
So, on that note,
Yeah, that does get us to the top of the hour. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. However else you're watching, stay tuned. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. Take it easy, everybody.
peace.